My family treated me like their personal ATM for years until one dinner taught them what happens when the bank closes. I'm Eli, 34, the responsible sibling who always showed up, while my brother Mason was the golden child. Charismatic, reckless, constantly in trouble but always landing on his feet. I was the one paying my way through college, holding the same job for a decade, and quietly covering part of my parents' mortgage when Dad's hours got cut. Mason dropped out, blew through jobs, moved back home at 28, but I was still treated like the outsider. Every gathering, I'd get the jabs disguised as jokes. Eli's so serious, or we figured you'd be too busy working. For years, I funded their lives. Co-signed loans, covered Christmas gifts, drove 3 hours on holidays with presents because Mason wasn't in the right headspace. I kept showing up, hoping I'd feel like family instead of just the emergency contact. That illusion shattered at Mason's engagement dinner. Mom asked me to handle the reservation. They'd pay me back, obviously. I booked the rooftop restaurant Mason wanted. Flowers, the works. Put down a $500 non-refundable deposit. The night arrives. I'm in my best suit, champagne and card in hand. The dining room glows with lights and jazz. I walk over to join the celebration. Mason grins and points to a folding chair off to the side, next to a trash bin. Sorry, this table's for family only, he says. I thought it was a joke. Mom gave her tight smile. Dad chuckled. A few people laughed. So I sat alone. 2 hours. Watched them toast, give speeches, open gifts. Mason talked about being surrounded by his closest people. Not one person looked my way. Then the waiter handed me the bill, $3,218. Should I run the same card? He asked. Mason smirked. Oh yeah, Eli's got it. I smiled. Not my table. I was told this was for family only. The silence was brutal. I didn't eat. Didn't drink. Wasn't welcome. So I won't be paying. Don't be ridiculous, Mason snapped. It's just a joke. Yeah, I said. That's the problem. You think it's funny when it's at someone else's expense. Brooke's father, stunned. You invited this man to your engagement dinner and sat him next to the trash can? Dad muttered. Eli, you've already paid half. You might as well just finish it. That snapped something. You're right, Dad. I booked the view Mason wanted, ordered custom flowers, paid the deposit, showed up in a suit, and I got a folding chair by the garbage. Now you can figure it out. You and your real family. I walked out. Ripple effects hit fast. Brooke's father was furious. Lied to. Stuck with the drinks bill. If this is how they treat family, what happens when you marry in? He asked her. Wedding planning froze. Brooke moved back to her condo. Then she called me. Did you really pay for everything? Yeah, they told my dad you volunteered. I never offered. They asked. I said yes. She went quiet. My dad said Mason made him look like a fool. 3 days later, the engagement was over. Brooke couldn't unsee the entitlement and lies. Mason moved back in with our parents. I closed our joint account he'd been draining for his gym and Spotify. When his card bounced, he called frantically. I closed it. I said, you told me I wasn't family. You don't get my money if I'm not at the table. Mom eventually showed up with lasagna and the first real apology of my life. No excuses, just, we let him treat you like less and we were wrong. I didn't magically forgive them, but I stopped being their safety net. Took that trip to Spain, started therapy, learned boundaries. Mason's still living at home, working part-time. He hasn't reached out. For the first time, I'm not sitting by the trash can. I'm at my own table, and that table is exactly where I belong.